Australia is still a relatively young country and known for its active lifestyle. Keeping active keeps us youthful. Known for its barbaric sports such as rugby and the injuries that go along with it, the mighty scrum can give any athlete cauliflower ears to broken noses. When you need a little adjustment, you may need to see an expert like Dr. Mooney. After putting my body on the line playing competitive rugby for many years, I thought now might be a good time to see the doctor myself. I was almost run over on my way to the clinic and ended up rubbing shoulders with a very interesting character in the elevator. I'll let you figure out what happened next.
Oh, you're my patients. Oh, how are you? Welcome, mate.
I'm here with world-renowned plastic surgeon Dr. William Mooney, and on my search of discovery, obviously I have always been worried about my nose playing rugby for so many years, and I really wanted to chat to you, see if there are solutions out there, and what do the men of Australia have? We know they're very macho men, but
they're man's men, they are. Look, great to talk to you today, Stephen, and your presentation is a very common presentation for me in my practice. Rhinoplasty in men is really common in Australia. We do 1 in 3 or maybe 1 in 4 rhinoplasties, and that's quite different to the global experience. In Europe and the States, it's up to 1 in 20, 1 in 25, but lots of guys get nose jobs in Australia. And why? Because for function and form, for 2 reasons. Now, we Australians are a colourful bunch. We have dubious conflict resolution techniques. Not that that happens all the time, but we also play a lot of high-impact sport. Australian rules and rugby, a high-impact sport. You know, you've been on the receiving end of that. Yes. And that was probably just a friendly little love tap in like an amateur game. So you can imagine that the noses I see coming through the door are quite challenging sometimes. Now, function's as important as form with noses, and often noses don't work with guys at the end of their rugby career, especially if they put on some weight, turn into noses that snore, and often that equals a dissatisfied partner or spouse. So for function, it's a great idea to fix, and then cosmetically as well. You do have a little bump there, otherwise you look great. So you certainly have some changes that we could address and a presentation that's common.
So what about Owen Wilson? He's got a pretty distinctive nose. So what's your opinion on that?
Look, he does. It looks almost phallic, doesn't it? And I wonder, and it's his hallmark. I mean, he can't change that nose. But look, you know, we spoke about this before, and I often say to people who come in, I often get young actors coming in, I want a perfect nose. And I say, look, I'll give you 4 names: De Niro, Pacino, Dustin Hoffman, Daniel Day-Lewis, to mention a few who are the greatest actors of our generation, have all got terrible noses.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, you'd want to drag them off to a rhinoplasty, but I wouldn't do that because it would detract from their character. I don't think a crooked nose or a bumpy nose necessarily holds you back in life. And I also don't think guys should look too pretty or done. They lose something I like to call barbecue credibility. You know, they lose their manliness. But at the same time, if you've got a bump that annoys you, then do something about it.
Cool. Well, I am really excited to find out what I'm going to look like. So should we have a look?
Let's have a look. So today what we're going to do is look at your nose using digital imaging technology. And we're going to look at 2 things. We're going to look at what you'd look like if we used a filler, an injectable rhinoplasty, and also look at you if you had formal rhinoplasty surgery. This is your profile here, and what we can see quite clearly is you've got the very classic features of a post-traumatic male nose with a big dorsal hump here. Now, we're lucky with you because you're quite deep at the nasion, the takeoff of your nose. So if we injected you with filler, we could achieve that. So let's go back. Let's have a look at you from the front and see how it looks. What we can see head on is that you have that dorsal hump. It's hard to see front on, but it gives you a sort of hourglass shape, like a Coca-Cola bottle. Narrow, wide, narrow, wide. So with filler, we can improve it. With surgery, it would be better. Once again, filler, surgery. And surgery would be better just because we could refine other features of your nose. Remember, with filler, we can only add to your nose, we can't subtract. So now we get to move on to something I call try before you buy. It's an exciting new technique where we use saline to show you what you look like if you tried an injectable rhinoplasty.
And besides putting it to the test.
It was time to put my body on the line once again. The doctor wasted no time as he put me in his chair, tested out my breathing, checked my nasal passage, and made some recommendations. I decided to try out the non-surgical rhinoplasty. I thought I was getting a popsicle for my good behaviour, but it was really just for numbing purposes, as the doctor injected the bridge of my nose to smooth out that signature rugby bump.